Good day. I'm Bill Logan, Communications Manager for the City of St. Petersburg Public Works. And this time of year, I'm normally getting ready for a hurricane special covering weather here in the Bay Area. But in our city, we've got a lot of potential wet weather hazards. So today, we'll let you pose the questions to local stakeholders, city leaders, and emergency managers as we all get ready for the storm.
I just like to know if you have a plan to keep people informed about weather-related problems, emergencies, minor problems, flooding, sewage, things like that, and just effectively let everybody know what they should do and what's coming.
Well, first of all, we have a great relationship with our local media, so we can call them right away and get information out. We also have Twitter, we have Facebook, and we also use Nextdoor to give people daily updates. If you wanted to, you can go to the St. Petersburg Police Department webpage and sign up for Code Red. That way you can get alerts during any crisis, any type of emergency in the city. So during an emergency, what will happen is we'll set up an emergency command center. Of course, the mayor's in charge of it, and each department will be in that command center. So one director can look at the other director and ask them to bring in resources. So if we need to block off a street, that way that division person can say, hey, on this street, can you have 2 officers respond to that? Or if there's a fire emergency, we can ask the fire department to bring in fire rescue.
My name's Janae, and my question is, if there's an evacuation, how is everybody going to get out safely with so many people that need to evacuate?
Well, I think that's a great and important question by Janae. When we have a storm coming like a hurricane, evacuation is probably one of our most important or major concerns. You know, we have the most densely populated county in the state. We have limited routes when you look at where we are and where we're located with water on 3 sides. Well, when the order is given, we use every media outlet, every social media, whatever it takes to get that message out. It'll be on all the channels, it'll be on the radio stations. I mean, we use every available media that's out there to get the order out. We've even gone up and down streets using our PA systems if necessary, so the word will get out. We have a plan to evacuate by zones that gives everybody ample time to do whatever it is they need to do. So that's why I go back to when the order's given, that's not the time to start thinking about it or start having a plan. You need all that in place prior. So preparation is key, and then heeding that order. I can't stress that enough. If we say evacuate, we mean it. You need to go.
Would I be informed early enough so that if there is an element of danger, so that a possible evacuation is prescribed or suggested, that I'm alerted well enough in advance so that there's a level of comfort in knowing that the best is being done?
The decision to evacuate is based on a number of factors, including storm movement, population movement, and infrastructure limitations. If and when an evacuation order is issued, it's important for everyone to know where to go and how to let their loved ones and friends know as well. Invariably, there are people who feel like they want to ride out the storm, but please know that they'll be alone. When an area is evacuated, that means there will be no emergency services to that area until the crisis is past. Additionally, emergency managers preach that the first 72 are up to you. That means that you'll need to know that you can survive for 72 hours, that's 3 days, with what you've prepared.
Recently, I've seen a lot of activity in our neighborhood with some water resources, equipment, heavy equipment and trucks. And it seems to me like they're attempting to do some repairs to the sewer lines. And it's encouraging to see that. And I would like to know if that's what is exactly that you're doing to improve our sewer system.
Yes, you've been noticing that we've been busy. There's no time to lose. Even as engineers and consultants continue to pinpoint potential problems, scores of workers are lining sewer mains, repairing manholes, and building a more resilient and robust wastewater system. So far this year, $45 million in work is underway, with benefits of that infrastructure investment being felt by this summer's storm season. The fast-track work to design, permit, build, and ultimately use the latest in wastewater treatment techniques has been the focus of a dedicated team of engineers and employees who want to get it right, because we're all in this together.
What are the plans to open up water treatment plants, because they've closed some? And then what are the plans to improve the infrastructure of our sewage system?
That's a great question. We are definitely evaluating whether we need another wastewater plant. Some of the things we need to examine include location. FDEP rules require that plant sites be designed to avoid a 100-year flood. For a new plant site, that means being above the 8-foot elevation. For an existing plant site, that means we might have to move things higher. Then there's feasibility. Will we be able to achieve our goals with the 3 plants we have, or is a 4th plant necessary? This requires a cost-benefit analysis. Then there's reliability. Redundancy is key in public health and safety systems. Adding a 4th plant would be like buying additional insurance against risk. But is the risk reduction worth the cost? And finally, there's zoning, proximity to residences, control of odors, noise, and lighting. Would a 4th plant disrupt an existing neighborhood where one doesn't currently exist? Could existing collection system infrastructure be used, or would new pipes and pumps be needed to be installed? These are just some of the questions we need to answer before committing to a new wastewater plant, including reopening Albert Whitted.
Will you be having the waters of Tampa Bay tested for antibiotic-resistant bacteria? And if so, how will the results of those tests be used to inform the citizens of St. Petersburg?
So, when you hear scientists talk about antibiotic-resistant bacteria in the environment, the talk centers around vancomycin-resistant enterococci, or VRE. So first, what are VRE? VRE are a type of enterococci bacteria that have developed resistance to many antibiotics, especially vancomycin, a strong antibiotic used to treat certain intestinal conditions. Finding these VRE bacteria in the environment outside of hospitals is a public health concern. At this time, we are relying on our research communities to advance the science and the methods needed to properly evaluate the risk levels associated with these releases of untreated wastewater. However, unlike research labs at universities, the City of St. Petersburg's environmental lab is not equipped to perform the specialized analyses needed to determine the presence of these VRE bacteria. However, the City of St. Petersburg does regularly perform testing for standard microbiological indicators to determine the health risks and compliance with water quality standards. These standards and methods are prescribed by the US EPA and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection and are based on accepted indicators. These indicators measure the same type of bacteria, enterococci, but unlike VRE, these general enterococci are typically present in sufficient enough numbers to be captured during sampling. When a laboratory like ours here in St. Petersburg performs an analysis to determine the concentration of bacterial indicators, we have to use methods that are accepted by EPA and Florida DEP. We also have to get certified to run those methods by the Florida Department of Health. This standardization of indicators and methods provides the public with the most cost-effective and reliable way to evaluate risk.
A lot of good questions and a lot of good answers as we continue to prepare for all hazards here in the city of St. Petersburg. We've got lots more great information to keep you and your family safe on our city webpage on the Hurricane Center. Thanks for joining us.